I gotta tell you, this is a terrible time to have a YouTube channel like ours. Normally, I can say whatever I want to, and if you don't agree with me, you just say, nah, not so much. I think you're wrong on this one, Dave. But right now, with everybody on what my mom would call tenterhooks, with every conservative American biting their nails and losing sleep and waiting for that damned other shoe to drop, it's tough for us to say anything at all. Out in the desert, cooling my jets, I had some very decent conversations with people who see the world through a very different lens than mine. We hardly mentioned the election, which was a good thing. 8 months of isolation has made me socially clumsy and a little bit feral, but I could feel my people skills gradually returning. Apart from an unpleasant altercation Tuesday night involving alcohol and loud music in a neighboring camp, I consider my time in the desert to have been pretty sane, pretty low stress. But I woke up Thursday morning and knew it was time to head home. And as I crossed the desert wasteland, I had only one channel on the radio, and that channel was Rush Limbaugh playing parts of the press conference with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. And boy, was it ever obvious that I was coming home to a shitstorm. It's miserable online. I've tested the waters a few times on social media in the last 2 days, and believe me, there is very little room for any sort of objective, emotionally neutral discussion. Did I say very little room? I meant zero room. What's the saying? Passions are high. Passions are in the stratosphere. If I in any way try to discuss our path forward should Donald Trump not prevail, I'll be slammed from every direction. I had no idea you were such a quitter. Dave's folding up. Stay with me. The drunk spitting blood and insults at me Tuesday night was less reasonable than my fellow conservatives, but not by much. They are certain about everything, and they will tolerate no disagreement. They remind me a lot of my old liberal friends when I came out against Obama in 2012. But, and this is a big but, I don't see anybody breaking store windows. Do you? We have tens of millions of very angry conservatives in the country right now, and as far as I know, not one incident of mob violence. Which begs the question, what if the roles were reversed? So let's go there for a minute. Imagine that Joe Biden had leapt out to an early lead in the battleground states, and then, inexplicably, CNN had called a key state early for Trump while not calling other important states early for Biden. What if progressives had gone to bed thinking Joe and Cammie had it in the bag, only to wake up and find that Trump was being declared the winner? What if whistleblowers were swamping the DNC, reporting all kinds of skullduggery behind the scenes? What if Adam Schiff was on TV saying that there was mounting evidence of an algorithmic coup carried out by Dominion and the GOP, grabbing up Biden votes and throwing them on the Trump pile? What if everywhere the Democrats turned, Republicans were looking down their noses at them, calling Joe's legal team a clown show, calling every attempt to expose fraud an unhinged conspiracy theory? Think they'd be yelling at each other on Facebook? Think that would be the extent of their ire? Don't make me laugh. If everything going on with this chaotic election was leaning toward a Trump victory, there would be no place to hide from the violence. We'd have George Floyd-level riots in every big city. The night sky would be black with the smoke of burning pickup trucks. Hysterical women would be pepper spraying people in gas stations because they had an American flag bumper sticker. The White House would be surrounded every night by torch-wielding protesters calling for Trump's immediate imprisonment. They would not have one press conference, as Trump's team had. They would be having a nonstop press telethon, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with every single Democrat of note crowding up to the microphone to call for more civil unrest. Elderly leftists would be dropping in the streets as their blood pressure blew out aneurysms in their fevered brains. Does any of this sound like an exaggeration? Okay, maybe that last bit about the aneurysms, but everything else, highly likely. Right now, all my lefty friends are doing their best impression of slightly baffled sages, surprised by the turmoil across the aisle. My word, What is all the fuss about? It's an election. Both sides can't win. Let's all be good sports and shake hands, wearing sanitary gloves, of course. We're all in this together. But if the tables were turned, those same people would be hurling Molotov cocktails through the shattered windows of their local Home Depot, desperate for revenge against the evil blue-collar legions of Donald J. Hitler. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I do look forward to the time when Jason and I can discuss other issues with you folks. One way or the other, this mess will be resolved. There will be no shooting war, and like we always do, we'll carry on the work of the nation we love. We'll set our sights on the horizon and move toward it, whether there are clear skies out there or the darkest storm clouds imaginable. And we'll look at one another and know that even in the darkest, most confusing moments, we did not take our frustrations out on innocent people or their businesses or their vehicles. We'll know that even in bad times, we are the good guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.